Welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Ultra League and we got a different team to run with. Today we're going to be trying out the Shadow Dragonite paired with the Skeledirge and Talonflame. Here we got a Greedent lead. We're going to stay in for now. We're going to tank this first move. We're going to see if we can get to a potential bait here. Okay, so we do get debuffed, unfortunately. We're going to go for this Dragon Claw bait here. They don't shield. Good for them. They were able to sniff that out. We're going to have to shield here. This Body Slam would have taken us out probably. Or at least close to it. So here we're going to go for the Dragon Claw, take out the Greedent. Then we're going to switch out as soon as they reveal that they have the Steelix. Steelix here is going to be able to throw a move. We can tank it pretty easily. Ends up being the Psychic Fang version. And now we see that they have the Shadow Feraligatr. So we know the rest of their team here. We're going to get a shield. Now we're going to be debating whether to shield here or not. It ends up being the Hydro Cannon, takes up the Skeledirge quite easily. Which one do we go in with? So we come in with the Dragonite here, trying to get to a Dragon Claw. We do get to that Dragon Claw. This Dragon Claw here will get this low or get this last shield. And then we're going to switch out immediately because they have a ton of energy to use. One shield has to go up here for the Hydro Cannon. Do we get to another move? No, we don't. They're able to get to another Hydro Cannon here. Hydro Cannon barely doesn't take us out, but looks like we're going to run out of health for everything else. Yeah, unfortunately, the Steelix in the back was just a little bit too strong after that Greedent took a shield from that Dragonite. So, nice play by my opponent. Not much we could have done there. Because that Feraligatr was kind of a problem for us in the back, especially shields down. Okay, against the Skeledirge. Skeledirge here is going to potential get to a Disarming Voice, but before they get to that, we're going to be able to throw this Dragon Claw. This Dragon Claw does get a shield from the Skeledirge. We're going to shield right here. Ends up being the Disarming Voice, like we said. And then they have the Machamp. Machamp is going to be a Shadow, so we're going to switch into our Skeledirge. We are able to tank a Rock Slice, so that is the key difference between switching into Talonflame versus the Skeledirge. We're going to go for this Disarming Voice, take out that Machamp, and then we're going to be able to get to a Shadow Ball once they come back in with their Skeledirge. So shields down from my opponent, and we know we have one shield remaining. I believe we're going to come back in with the Dragonite. Yep, makes sense. Come back in with the Dragonite. Do we shield here? Yes. Even though it was a Disarming Voice, that's no problem. Ooh, unable to get to that move right there is tough. Here we're going to have to try and gain a ton of energy. Our opponent does switch out. They switch out on a Flame Charge onto their Katana. So boom goes that Katana. And they're going to come back in with the Shadow Ball, but it is not enough because we are already charged up and we were fairly full health. So I guess they knew that they were going to lose the CAP tie, and then their only hope was to see if we catch a Fly or a Brave Bird on their Kartana. All right, here we go. Greedent again. Greedent versus this Dragonite. Let's see if we're going to be able to get a shield this time. We're going to have to let this one go, just in case with the debuff. They go for the Body Slam. So maybe this is not running the Crunch? Not sure. Okay, our opponent here does let it go. So they're able to get to another Body Slam right here. Yeah, maybe they don't have the Crunch version. So we're going to switch out and try to catch a move. We do catch the Body Slam perfectly. They switch out into the Golisopod. Golisopod here is interesting. It is able to get access to the Water move Liquidation. However, we can fight back with our own Shadow Ball. So we do shield the Liquidation. The huge Shadow Ball goes through and we are able to farm down. So not bad right there. We're going to be able to get to this Shadow Ball here. This Shadow Ball is going to be able to get a shield from this Weezing. And now we're going to bait this charge move with the Disarming Voice. They do sniff it out, unfortunately, but we were trying to get some chip damage at the very least because they were going to be able to get to this Brutal Swing quite quickly. So no choice here but to come back in with the Talonflame. Talonflame is going to have to tank all these moves. One Brutus Swing does go through. And let's see if we're going to be able to get... Okay, they actually switch out into their Greedent. But this is not bad because this is going to do some good damage. Take out the Greedent and boost up our attack. And all we have to do now is... well, we're going to let this go because we resist all the moves. Most of the moves. And that is an easy farm down right there. So GG's to our opponent. We are able to use that Talonflame to just basically win some games with the farm down because... people try to keep catching the flame charge and boosting our attack. Alright, next game, let's see. We got the Shadow Dragonite versus the Steelix here. Not necessarily the best thing. We are going to switch out into the Skeledirge. Skeledirge does get met with the Giratina. So we're going to go for Disarming Voices here. One Disarming Voice does go through, and we're going to try to get to another move. We know we can tank this move here. If they go for like a Dragon Claw or something. So now we're going to have to pressure some shields. One Disarming Voice goes through, pressures that shield. Trying to get to another Disarming Voice. Unfortunately, it does not get through. They are able to cut off that energy. Now our opponent is going to be able to throw another Dragon Claw right back at our Dragonite. We're looking for a potential farm down. Actually, we might just let this... Okay, we're going to shield here, and then we're going to farm down. Now we're going to have to decide to want to throw the Superpower or the bait. We go for the Dragon Claw bait. We do get that last shield, which is very important. And now we're going to be able to get our Talonflame hopefully boosted up. They go for the Psychic Fang right here. Oh, ends up being the Poliwrath in the back. Poliwrath is going to have to endure 2 moves. We have to go for 2 moves anyway, so we go for the Flame Charge boost, and then we're going to be able to get to a fly after this. Our opponent does go for the Icy Wind bait, though. Try to get our last shield and try to get that debuff, but we are going to be able to get to the fly and take them out. And then, unfortunately, we get farmed down with the Steelix right there. So in hindsight, we probably should have shielded that Talonflame so that we could potentially have enough health to throw another move. So let's see in the next game here. We got the Talonflame versus this Dragonite. Dragonite here is going to be able to get to a move before they're able to throw. So this Dragon Claw does get a shield from the Talonflame. Do we decide to shield here? We decide to shield just in case it's like a Brave Bird. Ends up only being the fly, but then they switch out into the Guzzler. Guzzler here is going to have to use a shield because we're going to be able to get to this Disarming Voice fairly quickly here. Only going to be able to get to 1 move, so let's see if our opponent ends up shielding here or letting this go. They go for the shield, trying to get to another Disarming Voice. We do get to the Disarming Voice, and this is going to do some big damage. Double Weak 2 Fairy barely doesn't take it out, but this is a potential farm down for something. We're going to come back in with the Dragonite here, and this Dragonite is going to shield so that we can take advantage of its energy. They come back in with their Talonflame. We know that they are energy dry, so then we're going to be able to throw this Dragon Claw, take out that Talonflame, and now we see the Giratina. Giratina here is going to have to endure a Shadow Dragon Claw, and then we're going to possibly switch out. Yep, makes sense. And then we're going to have to potentially tank Ancient Power if they're running it. There goes Ancient Power, but luckily not a stab move, so we are going to be able to survive it. Next move comes through, ends up being the Dragon Claw. Luckily, Talonflame does survive it in Ultra League, and then we're going to be able to get to this fly. So this is going to take out this Giratina. GG's to our opponent. So check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.